Aida for letting my dad and his wife worry about my stepbrother's future because they drove everyone away, including me. When I, to 24F, was 12, my dad married Gina. Gina had a 4-year-old son, Austin, who's on the autism spectrum. When we all met, Austin was nonverbal and had major sensory problems. He couldn't handle any noise, and Gina had the rule in place that you had to whisper, walk quiet, do everything quiet, and phones had to be off or on silent because even vibrate was too much noise for Austin. My dad was willing to sign himself and me up for this regardless of how I felt. At that point, Gina had already alienated most of her family because nobody wanted to deal with how strict she was about silence, and she tried to make other people's homes follow the rules so Austin could visit. I had games consoles that I never played after my dad and Gina bought a house together because it was too much noise. I wasn't allowed to watch TV or use pretty much any technology inside the house. If I wanted a shower, I had to put a towel over the bathroom door to drown out the noise of the water running, even though I heard my dad and Gina showering with that towel there. Flushing the toilet was also discouraged unless Austin was out of the house. One time I made a little noise cooking, and Gina told me to stop and made me drop it all, and she tossed out the food I was making, and I had to wait for Dad to bring home takeout. Another time, my dad got mad at me because there was an issue with the front door, and Dad told me I wasn't even trying to be quiet. We all had the same trouble and made the same noise with the door then, but my dad was so pissed at me for not finding a better way to get inside the house. Austin did eventually talk, but he's not very verbal. He still has major issues with sensory stimulation too. Noise is the worst, but he doesn't like some textures too. When I was 18, I moved out of Dad and Gina's house, and I never went back to visit or checked in on them. By that point, Dad's family weren't talking to them, and the few people in Gina's family who were still in their lives had moved away from them because of the strictness of the rules and how controlling they were about enforcing them. They've lived very lonely lives since I moved out. They get no visitors, don't have anyone to visit, and I don't even answer their calls most of the time. I have answered a handful of Dad's calls since I moved out, but I don't answer Gina at all. Something in them has become focused on the future now, and they worry about Austin and what will happen to him when they're gone. His bio father isn't in the picture, neither is the rest of his family. Gina's family won't answer calls and refuse to have anything more to do with her or Austin. Dad's family are the same. They wanted me to do it. However, I refuse to do anything of the sort. I don't care if all it takes is visiting Austin in some care home or making sure he's not being treated poorly. Despite us being step-family, he was never really my family, and I refuse to take on the burden of ensuring he's taken care of. This has caused a breakdown in Gina, who has texted me on Dad's phone multiple times with somewhat erratic messages, and my dad trying to make me answer calls so he can talk to me. But I have nothing to talk about beyond what I've said. They see me as TA for this, and they call Austin my brother, and ask why I would do this to my own sibling. I don't even bother replying that he's not my sibling and that I don't need to take care of him. Does it make me TA that I won't step up and that I let them worry like this instead of taking this off their minds?